Welcome back to JT on the Go. This is part 2 of my 2-part series about the Grand Canyon Railway. If you haven't watched part 1, I recommend doing that before watching part 2. At the end of part 1, I mentioned that the train was split into two while in the station so that people could get around it easier. That's where they split it. We just finished our visit to the Grand Canyon. Now it's time to head back to Williams. For the leg back to Williams, we'll be in the grandest car of the fleet, the Luxury Dome car. If you book the Luxury Parlor or the Luxury Dome, you can visit both carriages with one ticket. Your seats will simply be in the Luxury Dome if you book that coach. Though the Luxury Parlor is the only car that has an outdoor viewing balcony on the train, we can still visit it occasionally. Here are the interiors of the Luxury Dome car. The Observation Dome cars, which are ahead of this car, each have a smaller dome. This one can accommodate more people who want the view. Also, in comparison to the Luxury Parlor, the Luxury Dome car also has snacks for the passengers. Getting myself another cup of Chex Mix, and a cup of fresh lemonade. We're now leaving the Grand Canyon. The Grand Canyon Station is listed as a National Historic Landmark and is one of only 3 remaining wooden train stations in the US. On the way back, we'll walk through all the coaches and I'll explain the pros and cons of all the train carriages. Everyone has had a long day. Many people were resting their legs after walking around the Grand Canyon Village. Most of the time on these train trips I film, I am standing to capture the sights we pass, and I do that for one reason, for you.
Cheers!
Yes, cheers to a great trip. On the lower level, there is a mini bar and a few couches to chill and relax. Like the Luxury Parlor car, a ticket to ride in this car is the same price, $239.98. You also have to be 16 or over to travel in this car. Children are not permitted. What a lovely bar. I did mention one small detail about the tracks. Because this line was built over 100 years ago, the rails were typically produced in lengths of 30 to 60 feet. More modern day rails are several kilometers long. This is where all the beverages are kept in the Luxury Dome car. Time to check out the toilet. The toilet in the Luxury Dome car is not as spacious as the one in the Parlor car. The restroom on this coach has everything you need, but I do like the restroom in the Parlor car a lot more. I don't think I remember seeing scenery like this when coming into the Grand Canyon. This does look like it could be seen somewhere in Colorado. It's time to check out the other coaches on this train. This is one of the first class coaches. If you book first class, you'll have oversized seats, which include extra legroom, bar service, and complimentary snacks in the morning and afternoon. It's also ADA accessible. It costs $169.98 for anyone 16 or over, $129.98 for children aged 2 to 15, and it's free for anyone under 2 years old. Next is the Observation Dome. The difference between this and the Luxury Dome is that anyone aged 2 to 15 years old can be here. However, infants are not allowed here. It costs $199.98 for adults and $189.98 for anyone 2 to 15 years old. Bar service and complimentary snacks in the morning and afternoon are also provided. A car like this can also be seen in more areas in North America, including the Alaskan Railroad in Alaska, Via Rail in Canada, and some other tourist railroads that operate in North America. This looks more like a dining car on the train. I did not know the Grand Canyon Railway had a car like this. Good place to get something to eat if you're hungry. This next car is the most economical, the Pullman car. This is the only car of its kind on the train. They run seasonally between March and October. The cost is $69.98 for adults and $35.98 for children, and it's free for any child under 2 years old. The last type of car is the coach class. For adults, it costs $89.98. For anyone 2 to 15 years old, it costs $55.98, and it's free for infants. But I recommend not booking the Pullman car during the summer because there is no air conditioning in that car. You can open the windows to let air in, but it's just air that's being heated by the scorching Arizona sun, so the Pullman car can be full of heat on a hot summer day. The coach and first class coaches are the only 2 types of classes that are ADA accessible. The Grand Canyon Railway was revived on September 17, 1989 by entrepreneurs Max and Thelma Bygert, exactly 88 years after the first run back in 1901. Yes, sir. This setting is what I think of when thinking about Arizona or the Wild West in general. The train is moving a bit faster than on the way to the Grand Canyon because we're going downhill. Here's another thing I missed, an old farmhouse. Most of the roads that are along the Grand Canyon Railway line are just dirt roads. People can come out here for train spotting. That's the sunset in the distance. What we see over there is a group of wild mustangs. Untamed horses do run on their own out here. Because the sun isn't out when being on the balcony of the parlor car for the return trip, the temperature outside was cooler than earlier in the day. Do you remember the Wild West show back in part 1? Well, some of the guys that were there just broke out of jail and are somewhere out here. I wonder why the train is slowing down. Right after I cut that clip, I found them. They hijacked our train to rob it. 3 of the men are on the train, the other 2 are right there. They do something like this as a way to collect tips from the passengers. They said they will rob the passengers of their valuables, but they're not smart. A $1 bill will distract them. When the robbers get to a coach, all the passengers will have their hands up, and the $1 bills will be in places where they have to look for them. Though we see cars completely passing us, we are getting close to Williams. Some people that live out here walk to the rail line to see the train go by, literally. By now, the train robbers have reached the parlor car.
Take it! Take it! Give her her The sheriff is coming! The sheriff is coming!
Now they're looking for their horses.
Wait, next time. I'm learning next time. I ain't looking at
That tunnel up ahead is actually the longest train tunnel in the state of Arizona. The longest tunnel in Arizona is located somewhere in Phoenix. Passing that tunnel also means we're right outside of Williams, which means our day trip to the Grand Canyon in luxury has come to a close. Many locals are welcoming the train home. For my thoughts on the only train that goes to the Grand Canyon, it was a fun and enjoyable trip. I do recommend doing this if you are staying in Williams or wish to visit the Grand Canyon. If you enjoyed this 2-part series about the Grand Canyon Railway, please like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. There are a handful of tourist attractions around the Grand Canyon, and the expense of riding in luxury on the Grand Canyon Railway is worth it at the end of the day. See you next time.